The desperate signal. Commander Zara pressed her blue hands against the cold window of the space station. Below her, the planet Kellar burned. Orange fires spread across the green forests like a disease. Her home was dying. "Commander, they are breaking through Sector 7, Officer Tam shouted from his console. His voice shook with fear. The swarm had come 3 days ago. Nobody knew why. The robot army just appeared from dark space and started attacking. Their metal ships blocked out the stars. Their laser weapons turned cities into ash. The Kalari had never seen war before. They were traders, teachers, artists, not fighters. "Send the message again," Zara said. Her voice was tired but strong. "Someone must hear us." Tam's fingers moved over the controls. The universal SOS went out into space once more. "This is Kellar Prime. We are under attack. We need medical aid. We need food. Please, any civilized species, help us. We are dying." The bridge was quiet except for the beeping of machines. Everyone waited, hoped, prayed to whatever gods they believed in. Then something changed. "Commander?" Tam jumped from his chair. "We have a response. Someone heard us." Zara ran to his station. "Who? The Altarians? The Peaceful Union?" Tam's green face went pale. "No, Commander. The signal, it comes from Earth." Everyone on the bridge froze. Earth, the death world, home of the humans. "That's impossible," someone whispered. "Humans don't answer distress calls. They cause them." Zara had heard the stories. Everyone had. Humans came from a planet where everything tried to kill you. The gravity was so strong it crushed other species. The weather could freeze you or burn you in the same day. Even their animals were deadly. And the humans? They were worse. They called themselves Deathworlders with pride. "Maybe they will pass by," Officer Tam said, but his hope died when the SE source screamed. "Jump signatures detected," the navigation officer called out. "Big ones, multiple contacts. They're coming here." Space itself seemed to tear open. One by one, massive ships appeared, but these were not the white, clean vessels of peaceful races. These were black metal monsters. Their hulls were scarred from countless battles. Red lights glowed like angry eyes, and painted on each ship's side was the human military symbol. A skull wearing a helmet. 7, 8, 9 ships, Tam counted. His voice got higher with each number. "It's an entire war fleet." The biggest ship moved forward. It was 3 times larger than any Kalari vessel. Weapons covered every inch of it. This was not a ship that brought aid. This was a ship that brought death. "They're sending a message," Tam said. He looked at Zara with fear. "Should I open it?" Zara nodded. What choice did they have? The main screen flickered to life. A human appeared. He was older, with gray hair and hard brown eyes. His uniform was dark blue with medals covering the chest. Behind him, other humans worked at stations. They all looked calm, like arriving at a dying world was normal for them. "This is Admiral Chen of the Earth Defense Force, 7th Battle Fleet," the human said. His voice was deep and steady. "We received your distress call." Zara stepped forward. Her legs shook, but she stood tall. "Admiral, we asked for medical aid, for food. We are a peaceful people. We don't need this." She gestured at the warships. Admiral Chen smiled. It was not a warm smile. It was the smile of someone who enjoyed their job too much. "Commander, you asked for help. We're here to help." "But you brought warships. We need doctors, not soldiers." "You have an enemy attacking you, correct?" Chen asked. "Yes, but..." "Then you need soldiers first, doctors second." "Don't worry, Commander. We brought both." He leans. Head forward. "The cavalry has arrived." The transmission ended. Zara looked at her crew. They all had the same thought. The humans had come to help, but at what cost? Everyone knew humans didn't do anything for free, and their help usually involved explosions, lots of explosions. Outside, the human fleet moved into position. The swarm ships turned to face them. The robots had no idea what they were about to face. "What have we done?" Zara whispered to the stars. She had asked the universe for help. The universe had sent its monsters. But sometimes, to fight monsters, you needed bigger monsters. The battle for Kellar was about to begin, and the Deathworlders had come to play. Misunderstood saviors. The drop pods fell like black rain. Sarah, only 7 years old, pressed her face against the shelter window. Each pod slammed into the ground with enough force to shake the building. Her mother pulled her back, covering her eyes, but Sarah had already seen them. The humans. They came out of the pods laughing. "Contact in 3 minutes," one human shouted. He was huge, covered in black armor that made him look like a walking tank. A massive gun rested in his hands like it weighed nothing. "About damn time," another replied. "I was falling asleep up there." The swarm robots marched down the ruined street. Hundreds of them. Their red eyes glowed in perfect lines. Their weapons hummed with energy. They had destroyed the Kalari Defense Force in minutes. These humans were about to die. But the humans did something strange. They started making bets. "20 credits says I drop more than Johnson," a female soldier called out. "You're on, Martinez," Johnson replied, checking his weapon. "Loser makes coffee for a month." Commander Zara watched from the command center, her mouth hanging open. "They're insane, completely insane." Then the shooting started. The humans moved like dancers in a deadly ballet where the sauteuse, armed robots walked in straight lines. Humans rolled, jumped, and slid. Where robots aimed carefully, humans fired while running backward, sometimes not even looking, and they never stopped talking. "Rodriguez on your left." "Got it, thanks. Oh, that's a big one." "Dibs on the big one." "You can't call dibs on enemies, Tom." But here was the strangest part. While half the humans fought, the other half did something else. They set up tents, medical tents. Captain Tom Willis dragged a wounded Kalari civilian to safety while shooting robots with his other hand. He didn't even look stressed. His medic badge was covered in alien blood, but he was humming. "Don't worry, buddy," Tom told the scared Kalari man. "We've got you. This is just Tuesday for us." "Tuesday?" the alien gasped. "Yeah, Mondays are worse. That's when we do paperwork." Sarah watched Tom bandage the man's wounds. His hands were gentle, careful, the same hands that had just torn a robot apart. How could someone be both things? Then Sarah's world exploded. A swarm bomber had found the shelter. The wall burst inward, metal and fire everywhere. Sarah flew through the air. She hit the ground hard. Something in her leg snapped. The pain was so big she couldn't even scream. A robot stood over her, its red eye focused, its weapon powered up. "Not today, tin can!" The robot's head disappeared. Tom stood there, smoke rising from his rifle. He scooped Sarah up like she weighed nothing. "Hey there, little one. You're okay. I've got you." Sarah's leg was twisted wrong, blood everywhere, but Tom's voice was calm, so calm that Sarah felt calm too. "It hurts," she whispered. "I know, sweetheart. But you know what? You're tougher than you think." He ran while carrying her, still shooting robots with one hand. "You're still breathing. That means you're winning." He brought her to the medical tent. Other humans worked on injured Kalari. They had machines Sarah had never seen. One human sang while performing surgery. Another was eating a sandwich while setting broken bones. "How?" Zara had arrived, staring at the organized chaos. "How are you doing both? Fighting and healing?" Admiral Chen appeared on the communication screen. Behind him, space lit up with explosions as human ships tore through swarm vessels. "Commander Zara, you seem confused," Chen said. A small smile played on his lips. "Let me explain something about humans. We come from a world that tries to kill us every day. Storms that can rip cities apart. Animals with venom that melts flesh. Gravity that breaks bones. Even our sun gives us cancer." On the ground, a human soldier ripped a robot in half with his bare hands. "So we learned something important," Chen continued. To survive, you must be two things at once. Strong enough to destroy any threat, kind enough to protect those who can't protect themselves. But the galaxy fears you, Zara said. Everyone says humans are death incarnate. Chen laughed. It was a sound like distant thunder. Good. Let them fear us. Fear keeps the predators away from those we protect. Suddenly, every screen in the city lit up. A massive face appeared. Not human. Not Kalari. It was the Swarm Supreme Commander. Its mechanical face showed no emotion, but its voice dripped with electronic hate. Deathworlders, it said. You should not have come. You will burn. Your world will burn. Everything you touch will burn. The humans stopped fighting. They all looked at the screens. Then something amazing happened. They smiled. Every single one. Admiral Chen cracked his knuckles. The sound echoed through the communication system. Perfect, Chen said. I was getting bored. Boys and girls, looks like we got ourselves a real party now. The humans cheered. Actually cheered. Like someone had just announced free drinks, not promised their destruction. Release the tanks, someone shouted. Finally, another replied. Sarah, lying on the medical bed with her leg in a strange healing device, looked at Tom. Aren't you scared? Tom knelt beside her. His eyes were kind, but held something else. Something wild. Little one, want to know a secret? Sarah nodded. We're always scared, but we learn something on Earth. The scary things run when something scarier shows up. He winked. And nothing in this galaxy is scarier than humans protecting their friends. Outside, the real battle was about to begin. The swarm had sent their main force, thousands of ships, millions of robots. The humans had started playing rock music through the communication systems. Commander Zara realized something that made her heart skip. The humans hadn't been fighting. They had been warming up. And now the Deathworlders were ready to show the galaxy why even death itself feared Earth. The Deathworlder way, the planet-killer weapon, was beautiful in the way a snake is beautiful. Deadly, perfect, unstoppable. It hung in space above Keller, a sphere of swirling dark energy the size of a moon. The Swarm Supreme Commander's voice echoed across every frequency. Watch your protectors fail, Kalari. Watch the Deathworlders burn. On the human flagship, Admiral Chen stood perfectly still. His crew waited for orders. The Kalari held their breath. The weapon began to pulse, charging for the killing blow. Chen picked up his coffee mug, took a sip, then said 4 words that changed everything. Johnson, hold my beer. What happened next would be told across the galaxy for generations. The transport ship Crazy Horse, a supply vessel with no weapons, no shields worth mentioning, turned toward the planet killer and accelerated. Full burn, maximum speed. Captain Johnson, what are you doing? Zara screamed over comms. Johnson appeared on screen. A young man, maybe 25, with wild eyes and a wilder grin. You know what we call this move on Earth, Commander? This is suicide. We call it Tuesday Special. Johnson laughed. Hey, tell my mom I said hi. The Crazy Horse hit the planet killer at 30% light speed. The explosion was visible from 3 solar systems away. But Johnson's sacrifice had done something impossible. The weapon cracked. Dark energy leaked out like blood from a wound. It was hurt, but not dead. All ships, Chen commanded. Pattern Chicago style, and somebody play the good music. AC/DC's Highway to Hell blasted through space. The human fleet moved in ways that made no sense. Ships flew upside down, sideways. One destroyer did a barrel roll while firing. It shouldn't work. Physics said it was impossible. But humans had never cared much about what physics said. On the ground, Tom was teaching Sarah to play cards when the building shook. What was that? Sarah asked, her healing leg in a biocast. That was humans being humans. Tom dealt another hand. Want to know why they call us Deathworlders? Sarah nodded, mesmerized. Earth has 5 mass extinctions in its history. 5 times, almost everything died. Asteroids, ice ages, volcanic winters. But life kept coming back, meaner, tougher, angrier. Tom smiled. Humans are what you get when a planet tries to kill everything for 4 billion years and fails. Outside, a swarm giant-class robots stomped through the city, 50 meters tall, weapons that could level buildings. The Kalari ran in terror. Private Rodriguez looked up at it. He was 5'6" and eating a chocolate bar. "Hey, Martinez," he called out. "Bet you 50 credits I can take it down with just grenades." "You're insane," Martinez shouted back. "That's why they pay us the big bucks." Rodriguez ran at the giant robot. "Not a wow," he added. He slid between its legs, stuck grenades to its joints, then surfed down a collapsed building while the giant exploded behind him. 50 credits, he yelled, pumping his fist. But the swarm adapted. They always did. New robots appeared, smaller, faster. They moved like liquid metal, shifting and changing. Human weapons passed right through them. "Sir, nothing's working," a soldier reported to Chen. Chen watched the tactical display, thought for 3 seconds, then smiled that terrible smile. "Open communication to all ground forces," he ordered. "Authorization. Darwin's revenge." Every human soldier stopped. They looked at each other. Then they started laughing. "Finally!" Tom stood up. "Sarah, cover your eyes, sweetheart." "Why?" "Because you're about to see why Earth creatures are banned from most civilized worlds." The humans took off their helmets. Their armor's biosafety locks disengaged. And then they did something that made 0 sense. They bit their own hands until they bled. "What are you doing?" Zara screamed. "Earth biology lesson," Tom said, blood dripping from his palm. "Everything on Earth is toxic to something else. Our blood carries diseases that we're immune to. But to things that didn't evolve with us?" He flicked blood at a liquid metal robot. The blood hit. The robot started screaming, a sound like digital death. It melted, dissolved, turned into smoking puddles. "Our bacteria are weapon-grade to non-Earth life," Tom explained casually. "We're walking bioweapons." The humans went primal. They used their blood, their spit, even their sweat as weapons. One Marine named Cooper discovered that his particularly bad breath could short-circuit swarm processors. He ate garlic and onions from his ration pack and breathed on enemies. It was disgusting, primitive, insane. It was working. In space, the battle turned stranger. Admiral Chen ordered something called Operation Florida Man. Nobody knew what it meant until they saw it. Human pilots ejected from their fighters, on purpose, in space, wearing just pressure suits and carrying mining charges. They jetpacked to swarm ships, stuck bombs to hulls, then jetpacked to the next ship, like demented space mosquitoes. One pilot, Lieutenant Kim, was caught by a swarm tractor beam. "Got you now, human," the swarm ship transmitted. Kim's response? She activated all her mining charges at once while laughing. "Witness me!" The explosion took out 3 swarm vessels. Her escape pod was already launching. She'd planned the whole thing. The swarm supreme commander watched his forces crumble. "Impossible! You're using no strategy, no logic. This is chaos." Chen appeared on his screen, coffee in hand. "That's the thing about humans, friend. We weaponized chaos. We call it creativity." The planet killer weapon, still cracked and leaking, made one last desperate attack. It fired its broken beam at Kellar's moon. If it couldn't destroy the planet, it would drop the moon on it. Chen didn't hesitate. "All ships, Formation Darwin. Execute Operation Crazy Ivan." The entire human fleet linked their jump drives. All of them, together. It was insane. It could create a black hole. It could destroy everything. Instead, it created something else. A portal, not through space, through dimensions. "What are you doing?" the Supreme Commander screamed. "Ever heard of Australian wildlife?" Chen asked conversationally. "We're borrowing some." Through the portal came things. Earth creatures from humanity's darkest nightmares, evolved in alternate dimensions where Earth was even deadlier. They swarmed the planet killer weapon, ate through its hull like acid. The weapon didn't explode. It was devoured. The swarm fleet ran. Actually ran. The Supreme Commander's last transmission was simple. "What are you people?" Chen's answer was broadcast to the entire galaxy. "We're humans. We're from Earth, a planet where the trees produce poison, the cute animals carry rabies, and the weather has a body count. We evolved on Death's own playground, and we won." He paused. "And now we protect those who can't protect themselves, because we know what it's like when everything wants you dead." On the ground, Sarah looked at Tom with new eyes. "You're not monsters, we're survivors," Tom said softly. "And we teach others to survive too. That's the real Deathworlder way." The swarm was retreating, but everyone knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy now knew the truth. Humans weren't death dealers. They were death itself, tamed and given purpose, and they were just getting started. Heroes don't say goodbye. The victory party lasted exactly 17 minutes. That's when Admiral Chen's datapad buzzed with 13 new distress signals from across the galaxy. He looked at them, smiled, and ordered his fleet to start packing. Sarah ran through the medical tent, her newly healed legs still weak but working. She found Tom folding up surgical equipment with the same care he'd used to save her life. "You're leaving?" Her voice cracked. "But you just saved us." Tom knelt down to her height. His eyes were sad but determined. "Heroes don't stay, little one. They go where they're needed next." "But what if the swarm comes back?" "Then you'll be ready." He handed her something, his combat knife. "This killed 43 robots. Now it's yours." Across the planet, the same scene played out. Humans packing, Kalari begging them to stay. Commander Zara stood before Admiral Chen's hologram, desperate. "We'll give you anything. Our technology, our trade routes, half our planet." Chen shook his head. "We didn't come for payment, Commander." "Then why? Why save us?" Chen was quiet for a long moment. Behind him, she could see Earth on his screen. A blue marble, that looked so peaceful from space, so harmless. 40 years ago, Chen said finally, Earth sent its first colony ship to Alpha Centauri. 500 families, children, teachers, farmers, no weapons. We wanted to show we came in peace. He pulled up an image, a burned ship floating in space. The hegemony destroyed them, said humans were too dangerous to spread. No trial, no warning, just gone. Chen's eyes went hard. "My daughter was on that ship. She was 6. Zara's heart stopped. "The galaxy decided we were monsters before they knew us," Chen continued. "So we became better monsters, but monsters with a code. We protect those who can't protect themselves, because nobody protected our innocent." Suddenly, alarm screamed. "Admiral!" An officer appeared on screen. "The hegemony fleet. They're coming here. 300 ships." The Kalari panicked. The hegemony was the galaxy's supreme military power. They made the swarm look like toys. But Chen just laughed. "Perfect timing. I've been waiting for this." The hegemony fleet dropped from hyperspace. Their golden ships were works of art, weapons that had conquered 1,000 worlds. Their Admiral Supreme appeared on all channels. "Humans," he announced, "you have interfered with natural selection. The weak must fall. The strong must rise. This is the law." "Funny thing about laws," Chen replied. "They only work if someone enforces them." "We are the enforcement. Surrender or die." Chen turned to his crew. "Ladies and gentlemen, Operation Prometheus." Nobody knew what that meant until they saw it. Every human ship opened their cargo bays. Out flew thousands of small pods. But these weren't weapons. They were gifts. Each pod attached to a Kalari building. Shields sparked to life. Weapon systems activated. Training programs started playing on every screen. In 60 seconds, the humans had given the Kalari everything. Everything. Their technology, their sex, their knowledge. "What are you doing?" the hegemony admiral roared. "Evening the odds," Chen said. "You want to fight the weak? Congratulations. There are no weak here anymore." But the real surprise was yet to come. Tom had been busy on the ground, very busy. While healing Kalari, he'd been taking genetic samples, running them through his medical scanner, finding something interesting. "Sarah," he said urgently, "I need you to scream." "What?" "Scream, as loud as you can, now!" Sarah screamed. Her voice shattered windows. The sound wave knocked Tom backward. His scanner went crazy. "I knew it," Tom broadcast to Chen. "Admiral, the Kalari aren't weak. They're evolved sound weapons. They just never knew it." Chen's grin could have powered a star. "Commander Zara, would you like to try something fun?" Zara was confused but desperate. "Anything. Order your people to sing. Together. Now." "Sing? Sing!" Across Keller, millions of Kalari voices rose in their ancient harmony. The song was beautiful, haunting, and absolutely destructive. The sound waves hit the hegemony fleet like a physical force. Golden hulls cracked, sensors exploded. 3 ships simply shattered like glass. "Impossible!" the hegemony admiral screamed. "No," Chen corrected. "That's just Tuesday. Want to see Wednesday?" The human fleet did something unprecedented. They flew between the Kalari and hegemony. Shields down, weapons powered off. "What are you doing?" both sides shouted. Chen stood up. Every human on every ship stood up, and they started to sing too. Not beautifully like the Kalari, badly, off-key, different songs all at once. Sweet Caroline, mixed with death metal, mixed with opera. It was horrible. It was chaos. It was perfectly, impossibly effective. The combined sound, beautiful Kalari harmony and horrible human discord, created a resonance that reality itself couldn't handle. Still, space started to ripple. Sensors failed across the sector. The hegemony's perfect formation fell apart. "This is insane!" the hegemony admiral cried. "No," Chen said. "This is human. We take what you call weakness and make it strength. We take chaos and make it strategy. We take the broken and make them whole." The hegemony fleet retreated, but not before their admiral said something that changed everything. "The council will hear of this. You've doomed yourselves, humans." Chen laughed. "Good. We were getting bored anyway." After they left, Zara found Chen preparing to depart. "You knew, didn't you? About our voices?" "Suspected. Earth has creatures that use sound as weapons. Seemed logical evolution might do it elsewhere." He paused. "You're not weak, Zara. You just needed someone to show you your strength. Will we see you again?" Chen pointed to the stars. "Count on it. We left you something else. Check your moon." On Keller's moon, carved by human energy weapons in letters visible from space, under human protection, FAFO. "What does FAFO mean?" Zara asked. Tom laughed. "Find out and find out. Earth slang. Means try something and see what happens." Sarah tugged on Tom's armor. "You'll come back?" "Tell you what," Tom said. "You grow up strong. Learn to use that voice. And when you're ready, you come find us." "But space is huge. How will I find you?" Tom pointed to the stars. "Just follow the explosions, kid. We'll be the ones in the middle, probably laughing." The human fleet left. But the galaxy was different now. Word spread. Humans weren't conquerors. They were teachers, protectors. They turned the weak into warriors. Species began to change their distress calls. Instead of avoid human space, they now said, call the Deathworlders. 20 years later, Captain Sarah stood on the bridge of the Kalari's Song, the first joint species warship. Her crew was half Kalari, half human. Her executive officer, Tom's son. A distress signal came in, a small colony under attack by pirates. "Captain," her navigati, an officer said, "should we respond?" Sarah grinned, the same wild grin she'd learned from the humans. "Are you kidding? This is what we live for." She opened a channel to the pirates. "This is Captain Sarah of the Deathworlder Alliance. You have 2 choices. Run now, or find out why death itself fears us." The pirates laughed. 1 ship? Against 30? Sarah's human crew started playing rock music. Her Kalari crew began to hum. She cracked her knuckles, a habit learned from watching Admiral Chen. "Your funeral," she said cheerfully. "All hands, battle stations. Let's show them why humans don't say goodbye. They say, see you later." The battle lasted 6 minutes. The pirates surrendered after 2. Because the galaxy had learned something important. Humans weren't death incarnate. They were something far more dangerous. They were hope with ammunition, kindness with teeth, protectors who enjoyed their work a little too much. And they were just getting started. In the depths of space, Admiral Chen, now old and gray, read Sarah's battle report. He smiled and turned to his crew. "New generation's doing good, but they're getting soft. 6 minutes for 30 pirates." He stood up, joints creaking. "In my day, we'd have done it in 3. His crew laughed. Outside, another distress signal blinked. Chen's smile widened. "Well, kids, want to show the galaxy why old Deathworlders are the most dangerous kind?" The hunt continued. The protection never ended, and somewhere in the void, death itself watched Earth's children spread across the stars and felt something it had never felt before. Pride. Because humans hadn't conquered death. They'd done something better. They'd made friends with it. And together, they were unstoppable.